In a world of experts and influencers, it's not these guys. They lived it.
They didn't mean to do it.
From Winchester to the outer limits of your memory, they've gone global. It's nostalgia, nonsense, and a side of bacon. Warning, side effects may include yelling at your phone, flashbacks to your best memories, and sudden cravings for bacon. This is Slice of Life with Jay and Rich.
Welcome back, everybody. Rich, can you believe we've been doing this for a year now?
Can't. No.
We started with no plan, no expectations, just a mic and a crazy idea. Now here we are, 12 months strong. Unbelievable. And our audience keeps growing every month. And for that, folks, we are so grateful. Rich, I came across a quote recently that made me think of our podcast, and it stuck with me.
I remember you sharing it with me.
Yeah. It says, most people are attached to their childhood shows and toys because it reminds them of the days that they were genuinely happy.
Ain't that the truth?
Right? It made all the sense in the world to me. We could not agree more with this, folks. And that's why we do the podcast. Sure, we may toss in the occasional life lesson, but that's not what the show's about. The show's about digging into the stuff that really made us feel good. The memories, the things we took for granted, and those moments we wish we could rewind to. And it reminds us of that old quote from The Office, from Andy Bernard.
Yeah.
Remember what he said?
Yes.
I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them.
Isn't that the coolest quote ever?
It is. I love that.
I don't know who he's remembered for that quote if you ever watched the show, but whoever wrote that had to be they weren't you or me.
Exactly. Yeah, they were good writers. Right? But again, that's why we do this show, because we love, it's self-serving, but we also hope folks get something out of it too. We love reminiscing about the past, and we hope that when we do this, we're painting you a picture and you start reliving your favorite moments from your past as well.
Absolutely, yeah, because our memories, of course, are ours. But I've heard from so many other people when we're talking that they may have not grown up in the 70s or the 80s, but it's not decade or what's the right word? I'm not sure, specific to the time frame. We all have our own memories of growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those were the fun days. I would say, being an adult, you go through that phase. Naturally, I'm a little older than you, but you go through those phases of struggle. You're trying to pay your bills. You're trying to make a life. You're trying to make your way. And you don't, but eventually you come out of that.
I'm still in those phases, Rich. The lights may go off at any time here now.
But it is. It's fun. You relive it. So you end up hopefully enjoying life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of enjoying life, we're talking about something today that was one of my favorite parts of my life ever.
Yes.
Do you want to share it with them, or do you want me to do it?
No, you can share it. You're on a roll.
We are talking about our school days. The days, and we're talking everything from elementary school to middle school to high school, and the memories that we had from those that last with us till these days, the lessons that we learned, and also just those goofy moments that really didn't mean anything except giving us fun memories to where we are today.
It's so funny is how many things you remember that you've buried the memory until something comes up.
Yeah.
It's happened to me quite frequently lately. I see an image on social media or something like that, or I'm watching a show and it just triggers something. Oh, I remember that. And that's actually what this show is, kind of about.
Yeah. I hope we can trigger memories, because how fun is that when all of a sudden you remember something from the past that you hadn't thought about for years or decades?
Here's a memory for you to kind of kick it off.
Okay.
Is I remember getting the little thin boxes of pencils.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, number 2?
Yes.
Number 2 pencils.
Yes. I don't know if there was number 1 or number 3.
No. Well, there was number 3. Wasn't that the big one that you had to write with to learn to write the alphabet?
Oh, what? See,
the big fat one?
I'm learning something new here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys progressed because we were cavemen.
Yeah.
There's a C. But
you just etched it in the walls.
Yeah, number
right?
2. I always wondered what happened to number 1, because if number 2 pencil was the most used, whatever.
Yeah, it's maybe so tiny you can't even see. I don't know. Go ahead.
Anyway, so my mom gets us this pack of pencils, and I remember my sister got a pack, and this was supposed to last us the whole year of school. So, and I gave it to, go to school and I go, okay, my friend, David Bowers, I remember,
Throw him
you
under
had
the bus.
yeah, the pencil sharpener was up on the frame of the door of the school.
Okay.
The classroom when you walked in. And you had a crank on it.
Right. I remember those.
So he said, hey, you want me to sharpen your pencil for you? I said, yeah, you sharpen my pencil. So he goes up and he's got like 4 other classmates' pencils. He sharpened them. I was like, this is a cool dude. He was a friend. And then he comes back. And when he comes back, and you see him up there going, rah, 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 on this, he comes back, and it's a stub.
Oh, no.
He sharpened it almost all the way down to the eraser.
Oh, on purpose?
Yeah.
Just to mess with you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I thought, oh, my gosh, am I going to get in trouble when I get home? Because these pencils are supposed to last me the whole year. And he's already killed one of them.
Wow. Did you just tell your mom that this is how much writing we had to do? That's
They stayed in my desk.
Oh, okay. So they never found out.
Yeah. But I just remember, the fear, like, oh my God. And plus you couldn't write with it because he had put it
Right.
so small.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's like, that's crazy.
Well, I remember those pencils. I don't know if they had it when you were in school or not, but I guess this was elementary school. Remember they had a bookstore you could go to and buy I need a new pencil. Here's a nickel, whatever it was. They came out with, I remember the big thing. They came out with NFL themed pencils.
Oh, I didn't
see that. Your team was written on that's all it was. It was in your team's color. All the different teams were there, their colors and their names on the side of the pencil. And that was the biggest deal to get this. I actually still have one right over here in my office right now.
Really?
A Baltimore Colts.
Oh, it
pencil.
even had Baltimore, not just Colts. It said Baltimore.
It said the city and the name.
Oh, so it's actually stamped in it, just like the.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
But that was the hot commodity. And then they had different cool erasers you could get to be cool and all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited to talk about school because I know a lot of people say, oh, I hated high school. I'm ready for that era to be over. I loved everything about it. I feel like I peaked in high school. I've been chasing those highs ever since. It's been a slow downhill trajectory, downhill slide ever since. So I'm excited to go relive some of these moments here today.
Oh, that's funny. You talk about the pencils. I go back because I kept thinking you were going to tell me about the ones that you could take the tips out of. Remember those?
Mechanical pencils.
No, well, it was mechanical, but these were ones you just had a bunch of tips loaded into it, and you pulled one tip out. And you'd push it in the back, and it would push the new tip out.
Oh, I'm trying to remember that.
They were made of plastic and stuff.
Not mechanical ones where you just had the real skinny piece of.
No, I remember those too, okay. But I was just remembering these here because it only had a certain amount of lead.
Okay.
In the pencil tip.
I can't place that one.
Speaking of, sorry, this is not an image we can paint.
Are we painting the right picture here, folks? Oh. I can hear people clicking off already at this point. Now, remember, speaking of writing utensils, do you remember the pens? This is more 80s, where there were 4 different colors.
Oh, yeah. I had one with 6.
No, there's no such thing. Yeah. You're making this up now. Seriously?
No, it was 4.
Oh, okay. I was going to man, I got, again, once again, my parents got me the cheap 4 color brand. There was a 6 out there.
Red, blue,
black,
and
green.
Was it green? Yeah.
Remember, you always try to push all 4 in at one time to see if all the all come in at once. Oh, that was great.
Because the tip had to come out, so you'd end up busting the end of the pen.
Exactly. You can get another one. Now, did you have there's so much to talk about with this topic here. Let's start with one of the things I think makes school so great for folks are the teachers.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you have any favorite teachers or any this may be even more fun any most hated teachers?
I don't have any that I didn't like. I think I liked all my teachers. Nice. But my favorite teacher...
Were you a teacher's pet?
Let's say... Actually, in one. She lived next door to us.
Oh, so you had to be then.
Yeah, and I mowed her lawn, so...
I hope you got straight A's for that then.
I don't remember what she taught, to be honest with you. That's how... It's like, oh, I'm getting an A? Great. No, actually, it's funny. I don't know if everybody can do this, but I remember Mrs. Lamp. Mm-hmm. She was my first grade teacher. So I remember her. She was one of my favorite teachers. And interesting enough, I only remember a few classes, as far as, nap time, learning to write the big C's and the A's and the B's and stuff.
With your number 3 pencil?
And I wasn't good enough for number 2. But she was so nice. And then my second grade teacher, whom I really didn't like so much, but her name was Mrs. DeHaven.
Okay.
And that's because she embarrassed.
Maybe if you didn't like them, we shouldn't be mentioning the names here.
Well, she actually, I think she passed away, but I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'm not saying the school. But anyway, she actually embarrassed me in front of the class and made me cry.
Oh, my gosh.
So
you got to fill us in what she did now.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it hanging at that.
Well, my sister was very artistic.
Okay.
She was a year and a half older than me, but she was very good at drawing whatever. And I would mimic what she would draw. And everybody, of course, it's little Richie, so they're gonna pander to him. But they thought, hey, that's pretty good. It's not obviously not as good as my sister's, and I was just copying. So I was coloring, and I drew my grass, like a big hill. You make your grass your hill, and a big tree. And the sun, the big bright sun off in the left hand. Remember, you're in second grade.
So was your son like in the corner of the picture? That was the go-to move for the sun back then. Okay.
With the little light,
little rays coming out.
Yeah, little rays.
Did it have a smiley face in the sun's?
No.
Okay.
No, I wasn't that creative.
Gosh.
Remember, I'm going off of what I saw.
So the sun wasn't a character. Go ahead.
And now also, let me back up a little bit and say she loved my sister. Because I remember when I met her, she goes, "Oh, I had your sister. She's so wonderful. She's so talented." And I'm like, "Okay, blah, blah, blah." But so then I'm mimicking what my sister has done, and I draw the grass blades like little birds. They're little V shapes.
Okay.
On the ground. Not very many of them, just around. Kind of look like high weeds or something like that.
Okay.
So she takes my paper and comes by the desk, and we're all coloring. And she holds it up in the class, and she says, "Class, look what Mr. Weller did." And I'm thinking, "Oh man, this is so cool! I'm being recognized." And then she says, "This is not the way we make grass." Oh, she wanted the old scribble color of the grass in with green.
Oh no!
And I started crying because I was like, "Oh!" And after that, I didn't like her.
Well, I don't blame you, man. That killed
Sorry,
your whole.
Folks, didn't make bring the show down.
Yeah, that killed your whole illustration career right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
now the only thing I can draw is flies. And attention in the wrong way.
But that's what teachers do. That they can. Hopefully, they usually encourage us. They usually do the opposite, right? They encourage us to be better versions of ourselves. This teacher is obviously the exception to the rule here.
Well, you have to also remember that this is my memory. So
okay, yeah. So
it could have.
The grass just could have been really bad. It could have been just really bad drawing.
Yes, it could have been. But as a kid, it's kind of demoralizing. You're like,
Rich, there's barbecue, and then there's Gigs Barbecue.
Oh, man, Gigs isn't just food. It's an experience. Slow smoked, tender, and packed with flavor.
Every bite tastes like it's been made just for you. Ribs, pulled pork, brisket, whatever you're craving.
And let's not forget the sauces. Gigs has the whole lineup that'll take your buds on a road trip. Sweet, tangy, spicy, Bella's dry rub.
You'll smell it before you see it. That's Hogzilla, Gigs' legendary smoker, rolling out clouds of flavor.
So do yourself a flavor. Bring your family, friends, or just bring your appetite.
And head to Gigs Barbecue at 855 Bloomery Pike in Augusta, West Virginia.
Yeah, just follow the smoke from Hogzilla.
Gigs Barbecue. Come hungry, leave happy.
And
one of my favorite teacher stories, this isn't as much of an encouraging one, just a funny one, and a lesson learned. We all had this was high school English class. We all had to pick a different fictional character and then act out a scene. It was supposed to be like a daytime talk show, and everybody played a fictional character from their book. And the talk show host would ask us, we'd answer questions about ourselves so we'd show that we knew about the book. Well, I remember I was James Bond from Ian Fleming's The 007 series, and a buddy of mine, Pat Carper, was Robin Hood. And there was a couple other people, and there was like 4 or 5 of us on the panel up there in front of the rest of the class. You had to perform in front of the other class. And the teacher would act like the host and ask you questions, and we would answer in character. So we're getting ready to go up there, and Pat's like, "Hey, man," I mean, we are literally 2 minutes from going out, and Pat's like, "Hey, man, I didn't read my book." He goes, "Can you tell me anything about Robin Hood?" I'm like, no, dude. I said, I didn't read my book either. I just went and watched a bunch of James Bond movies. I said, I can't tell you anything about it. And here he is. He's dressed all like a green elf or something, like does Robin Hood. And I'm wearing a suit, a tie like James Bond. So I'm like, okay, here's what we'll do. We came up with this plan. He's like, perfect. So we didn't tell anybody. We walked out there, and I was going to get interviewed first, and then the next question went to Pat as Robin Hood. So they asked me my question. I said, oh, yeah, we have all kinds of gimmicks. Q sets us up with all of our stuff. I go, in fact, these cufflinks are knockout darts. And I touched my cufflink like I was saying and acted like, made that noise. And Pat grabbed his neck like he got shot with a knockout dart. And he slumped over like he was asleep from the knockout dart. Right. So he couldn't answer any questions. And the teacher would call him and say, well, next is Robin Hood. And I'd have to say, I'm sorry. I think he's knocked out from the dart. And he just stayed unconscious the entire time. He got an F on this project, and then I got an F for being party to the she called it crime, but we both got Fs on this. So I always like to share that story. I think the lesson was just,
read your book.
Read the book, right? We had one assignment. We could at least done that.
Yeah, this wasn't drama class.
Right, this is just straight up English class. But teachers are great. I remember, and I think they mold us to who we are today more than we realize.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I remember I had one teacher, Ms. Devers, in middle school at Ayler Middle School.
Okay, that's just straight up the street.
Right up the street. Yep. And she, I remember I got detention from her one time. Now I can't remember what I was doing, being a knucklehead. But I got and this now fast forward to high school, and I've had hundreds of detentions, even a suspension. It's a whole, it went on.
That's a whole
my
nother
career
show.
blossomed. Yeah. But at that point, I'd never had a detention. So I'm like, there's no way I want to go home and let mom and dad find out that I got a detention. So class ends, and I go back to Ms. Devers, and I plead with her. I mean, I beg and plead and state my case of why I should get a pass on this and not get a detention. Right. And to her credit, she finally said, you know what? I'm not going to give you detention. She said, you are really good at persuading me not to give you one. I want to do that. She goes, but do yourself a favor. She goes, put that same persuasiveness into your writing moving forward.
Oh,
she goes, and the sky's the limit. And I'm like, well, I've never forgotten that. And everything we write is not for persuasive writing, but I do think about that anytime I write to this day. And that's always stuck with me. And I think it's helped mold the way I write. And I've always been, and I've seen her, I've told her that since. I've told her this story in person since. But I've always been appreciative to her of that. I think, and maybe it's not as on the nose as that story, but there's these little nuances that all these teachers add to who we are in our lives today as adults in a positive way. Yeah,
absolutely. I remember just one thing that which was junior high for me. They're not junior highs anymore; they're middle schools.
Yeah, junior high sounds cooler. Is it just me, or is it?
I was like, oh yeah, I'm a junior high. I think they should go back to that middle school.
They do too. Yeah,
because now it's like kids walking around and go, oh, he's a middle schooler. Especially if you're in high school.
Right.
I know. Underclassmen.
Well, let me ask you.
Doesn't mean you don't have any class. You just
remember your thought, because real quick I want to ask, when you were in junior high versus high school, was high school the varsity jackets and your junior high the letter sweaters? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, that's all it was for us too. It's all. I think it's all changed now. But go ahead.
But you could do letter sweaters in high school too.
You could.
Yeah.
You had your choice between varsity jacket or letter sweater?
Yeah, because most of the kids from the time period could only afford one, so they would get it in junior high.
Which was cooler?
Well, when Happy Days came out, the letter sweaters was cool.
Yeah.
So if you remember that.
I do. Okay.
I think there was a couple people that were on that show that had the jackets. But I just remember the sweater.
Yeah, Richie always had the sweater, right? Okay.
Yeah, because I think that was a big carryover from the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I wasn't born then, but I do see pictures and read.
And I think we've talked about this in one of our other podcasts, so I won't belabor the point, but I don't even think varsity jackets are a thing these days for kids.
No, I don't think they – I haven't seen them wear anything outside of school that, lets you know that they're in any kind of sport. Yeah,
I think they letter and I think lettering's still a thing, and then they just toss the letter aside and it's no big deal.
Put it in the, reminiscing basket.
Yeah, I was going to say put it in the locker. They don't even have lockers these days.
No. That's actually crazy. Some of the differences. We hopefully get to that stuff. But I was going to tell you about I had moved on from junior high, and, big man on campus in high school. Not really. But I visited my school, North Junior High, which was just down the street from where I lived, kind of like you lived real close to Ayler. Anyway, so I'm walking through, and this is when, you could just go in, and the teachers knew who you were and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't like in today's
right.
world. Anyway, so Mrs. Miller was our science teacher, and she saw me coming through the hallway, and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" Blah, 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 blah. And I hardly ever knew that she even knew that I was in class. Because always, you set alphabetically. So
okay,
I was always in the back
the
of the class. Anyway, she says, "Hey, would you come in and would you say something to my new class, because it was a new year starting?" And I was like, "Me? Well, what am I going to tell them?" So it was kind of funny. I don't even remember what I said to them, but I remember walking into the class, and she introduced me, and I did say some kind words about her in the class because she was a good teacher. Mm-hmm. And I remember that. And, then the bell rang and all the kids got up and run.
Oh, yeah. Well, back then you only, I wouldn't take that personal, because back then you only had 4 or 5 minutes to get to your locker, move your books in, get your other books out, get to your other class across the campus. I mean, it was a tight frame looking back.
Yeah. Well, this was lunch. I do
remember
that.
They wanted to get to lunch then. Come on.
Yeah. I remember talking about running. Good friend of mine, Rusty Woodward. So we were always in the basement of the school for lunchtime.
Okay.
And the bell would ring, and we didn't wait for the teacher to dismiss us. We'd get up and run, because you had to get all the way up to the top of the school, and we didn't go through the hallways. We would, and try to run past all the kids. We would run out the school door, out the side doors that were adjacent to the schools, and we'd run around the building, run all the way up the hill, and then into the lunchroom. So we end up being like the either first or 10th or something like that in lunch. Because, when you're a kid at that age, you're like starving to death.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
wait in line.
You didn't snacks in class.
Right. Oh, exactly. Now they're bringing their Starbucks lattes and putting down there. It was, wow.
I'm like, we're sitting there. It's just like, Rich, you're looking a little thin.
Yeah.
I'm not eating.
Yeah, because we get to lunch, it's like, okay, these 4 chicken nuggets and this ice cream scoop of mac and cheese, it has to last me the entire day, right?
Yeah. Remember, of course, for me, it was, you paid, in grade school, it was a nickel to get extra milk.
I remember getting the extra milks.
Yeah, and then it went to a quarter, and I thought that was highway robbery.
Yeah, exactly. The principal needed a new luxury sedan.
And it didn't matter, like, milk tasted so delicious.
When you drink it out of the carton, it was different, right?
Yeah. Now, I don't know what they're drinking.
You guys have chocolate milk too?
We did.
Okay.
And it was interesting because I was just telling the story to somebody the other day. We had a chocolate milk machine at Winchester Elementary.
Oh, wow.
It took pennies.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was 5 cents. And I remember, because, you don't have any money.
Right.
I remember going around begging my friends if they had any pennies so I could get a chocolate milk. And it was the smaller one.
I'm almost there. Just
like
need 2 more pennies. Come on. Wow.
Yeah. Bartering with your friend. I'll do your homework. Just give me an extra. Give me a penny.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, I remember
Shenandoah Pride.
Shenandoah Pride. Absolutely. Do you guys have breakfast, an optional breakfast there if you got there early enough at your school? That might have been something that started later.
In high school we did.
High school
I don't remember it in any of the other,
In ours, I remember in high school, you could get there early enough and you could get, you could buy milk. And I mean, you talk about Krispy Kreme now. I don't know what these were, but hot glazed donut. It was the only thing. You could get hot glazed donuts and milk. I was there it was like, I think a quarter a donut or something like that. I'm like, bring $1 in, get, 2 donuts, 2 milks. I was set. It was great.
I should have been born in the 80s,
yeah,
70s. So
I'll tell you every time. This is the best decade ever. So no, it was good times.
My decade was the one that led into yours. Oh, we got to feed them a little more.
That's right. You guys walked so we could run.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. I didn't have shoes. You had shoes. My parents didn't have feet.
Oh my gosh.
So it's all progression.
We talk about high school. I almost feel like it was, or still is in some regards, a microcosm of life itself that we're going to get into, because it teaches us how to get along with, it's almost like the workplace. You were thrust in this one building with people from all walks of life. And that's up to you. Are you going to be able to get along with these people, or are you not? How are you going to manage personalities? All right, where are you going to put your priorities to succeed in life? I mean, it's really, I think it helps us grow, not just let's learn English, let's learn math, let's learn history, all important, right? But I think the biggest thing is just learning how to get along with other people. Wait, what are you laughing at, Rich?
I was just laughing because you said just learning, and I was like, you're talking about English, and I remember my English teacher telling me, you don't write the way you speak.
Yeah. Please don't write the way you speak.
I was like, seriously? That's a thing?
Yeah. But I think another part of that it teaches us it's just showing up. We don't have to be the best athlete. We don't have to be the valedictorian. We don't have to be the master thespian in the drama club. Just show up. Do your best.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, it was a whole Cal Ripken philosophy, right? Just show up every day. Good things will happen. You give it your all. Show up. Yeah, I like this. I got involved in everything I could, and I played all the sports.
Wow, I was just the opposite.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I don't want to do
you
that.
recoil from everything? it all goes back to that grass picture.
I would I would sink into the crowd.
Oh man!
You know what I mean? No. Don't pick me. I wasn't Donkey in Shrek.
Oh my gosh, I don't see that at all.
Yeah. Oh
wow. So when did you come out of your shell? After school?
Have I?
Yeah.
The tortoise. No, actually, probably my junior or senior year.
Okay.
But I'm talking about in my early years. I just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the other beauty of school. You find yourself as you go. You start out looking. Middle school's kind of rough, but then by high school, most of us kind of figure out here's a personality. Here's where I want to be. Here's where my values lie, and we move on from there.
I remember in one of the classes that I was in, and I don't remember, it was junior year or whatever. You have the class clown, and I was really never the class clown so much, but I do remember that I would say some things, and all the kids would laugh, and it was.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
It's like, are you speaking English? But so then you go like, oh, okay. So you start learning comedy, or how to make people laugh.
Yeah.
I never got in trouble for it, but there were other kids in this, so those kids were teaching me how to be funny, but I also learned how not to get in trouble.
You also learned just how far you can push the envelope, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's good. No, the world needs more levity. It needs more humor. It needs people to lighten the mood when it's appropriate, right?
Yes. Speaking of this, I remember, I think it was sociology class, and I don't remember. I think her name was Mrs. Myers, but I could be wrong, in high school. And every time we would talk about things, I would talk about the National Enquirer stories that I read.
So it's factual, right? That's like today's version say, well, I saw it on Wikipedia.
And it was so funny because she would always reference that, and she'd say, Mr. Weller, those are not true stories in there. And I was like, seriously? But I was playing it off, because that's where you got your stories about Bigfoot,
right?
UFOs.
The stories that excited us at that age, right?
Yeah. So
we didn't care about politics at that time or, the economy or any of that boring stuff.
So I kind of felt that I was a little like Jay Foreman at that period because I knew it wasn't true and stuff, but I was actually playing her in the sense of getting laughs from the classroom. Yes. And they were probably thinking, he's a moron. And that hasn't changed.
Yeah. That's okay, though. As long as you're getting the laughs.
Right. That's right.
Oh,
gosh,
man.
we talk about tangents.
Yeah.
Rabbit holes. Went down that one because part of this we were going to talk about the differences in the time frames. Now you go back. I haven't been in a school other than actually I went to the play that they just had for James Wood.
Shrek?
Yeah, the Shrek.
I heard it was just phenomenal.
It was crazy.
Nice.
And this is no slap to the people that I went to school with because these guys were talented. I remember watching.
Just by saying this is no slap to them, we all know it's coming.
And
now.
I mean, because I wasn't, it's a different viewpoint as an adult versus when you're there watching your friends perform.
Yeah, that's true.
So, because they were good. There was a couple, Gary Foster. Gary, I don't know if you listen to this or not, but he lives down in Florida, and he goes to Disneyland almost every year. He doesn't work there, but he goes there.
But he should.
He should, because watching him in plays and stuff, his singing and his antics and stuff like that always made me feel good. I go, why can't I do stuff like that? So I wanted to be more like these guys in the plays. But anyway, to the play, that I went to see, I was like watching this and I was like, these kids are so talented, but they're not doing it. I think there was only like one or two that was going to go on into like a drama class or something like that for college.
Right.
But I was like, wow. I was like, if I had that kind of talent, of course, you don't know what encompasses their life.
Right.
But I would want to do that. I'd want to sing.
Yeah, they make it look fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And the voices that they had, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
If I sing, people go, hey, shut up.
Yeah, right. I
take requests. Shut up. But I sing anyway.
Yeah, the talent these days is off the charts. Oh. It's amazing. I just had the privilege of emceeing a James Wood talent show a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's right.
And my gosh, the talent. I was glad I was emceeing, not one of the judges, because it would be like asking me to choose between my kids, right?
Right.
Everybody was so phenomenally talented. It was everything from dance to singing to a ventriloquist. And these are all high school and middle school aged kids. Just to have that stage presence, to be able to go on. I know, half the adults I know now wouldn't want to be on stage in front of a crowd doing anything. And us included, there's something to that, right? But they're going out there and they're comfortable in their own skin and they're good at what they do. And there's just something that makes you feel good seeing somebody do something well that they enjoy.
Yes.
Right? It's contagious.
Yeah. Right. That's what, I admire you. You do the MC, you do a lot of MC work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's a whole different, ball game. People say, oh, you could get up in front of a crowd. Oh, I can get in front of a crowd and I can talk. But I said, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Well, the MC thing is a lot easier because you're putting over other talent. You're just talking about the other talents.
Right.
The emphasis shouldn't be on you if you're doing an MC job well, right? Now,
right.
I've also gone up and done stand-up comedy once in my life. Never again. That was a complete, you talk about, out of your element.
We've had people ask us to do a comedy show years ago. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
And you asked, I said, no.
Yeah. We know our lane.
Right. And I'm like, no. There's one thing of just being silly and funny, saying things that are funny. And then it's one thing of getting up in front of a room full of crowd and they're expecting you to make them laugh.
Yes.
And they go, come on, Mr. Funny Man, make me laugh.
And half of them are there to not laugh and to see how bad you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't need that kind of stress in my life.
Exactly. There's enough out there.
Yeah. But anyway, back to school.
Yes. It only took us 20 minutes to get off track here.
Yeah, so I remember just talking about the pencil. We sharpen. My friend sharpened.
Back on the pencil again?
Well, no, I want to go back to the boards. We had chalkboards.
Oh yeah, we did too.
And we had the erasers.
Oh yeah,
and it was a big deal. I thought this.
You could pound them together with the dust going everywhere.
Yeah, yes. The teacher would let you go clean your erasers.
Yeah. That was like a reward back then.
It was.
Rich, you get to go clean the erasers.
I know.
You're like, yes. I don't never figured that one out. That was the biggest scam that teachers ran ever.
And you come in, but I'd pound them real close to my face, so
that white powder on your face.
Oh my God! Kids would laugh at me when I'd come in.
Oh man!
I'm like playing it off like, "What are y'all laughing at?" Because
yeah,
I did it on purpose, but at the same time,
well, I remember those erasers. Do you remember? I don't know if this was a thing for you, but when we were this is going back to elementary school, when you would get in trouble, you'd have to like skip recess and sit there and write sentences, like write this sentence 100 times on the board, like I will not.
I never had to do it on the board, but I know what you're talking about.
You don't? Okay, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
Mine was my spiral notebook.
What'd you do? You had to write it in your spiral notebook.
I had to write it in my spiral notebook.
Well, I remember a buddy of mine, and he came up with it. It wasn't me, so I can't take credit, but it actually worked. You remember the erasers that we're talking, the kind you would pound to get the powder all over your face? They like tiny slits in between the felt, the fabric, whatever they were.
So
we would put 3 different pieces of chalk, and then we could write 3 sentences at one time.
Yeah,
right. It actually works. So you would, talk about efficiency model. Yeah, we tripled our rate. We get out because it was like as soon as you finish up, you can go join us for recess. So that just we were
I don't
out
think
of there
that would have worked for me because the teacher seemed to always be in the classroom.
That's probably because your reputation preceded you.
I don't remember. I think I was. What is it you always get in trouble for? Talking too much.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the cartoon character? From The Simpsons. What's the boy's name? I can't think.
Bart?
Bart. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a meme of him going around.
You're a big Simpsons fan, I see.
Not really. But anyway, he's writing on the board. I will not talk.
Yes.
There's a meme going around. So anyway, that's I that's what I picture when you're telling me that story.
Yeah. That's the old
I don't remember
days.
my friends having to do that. I remember we would have to sit, but I do remember holding 2 pencils at one time, writing "I will not talk."
Oh, okay. Yeah, same concept. That would work too. Yeah. Now you talk about punishments. Did you guys have? Did you ever get paddled by the principal or a teacher?
I got paddled one time.
That's all it took. You never did it again.
No, it wasn't my fault.
Well,
It really wasn't.
Now's your chance
my
to
fault.
come clean here.
It's my story, and I'm sticking. Yeah. No, we were sitting waiting for the bus, grade school, 4th grade, and a friend, would jump on my back, and I don't remember his last name, but his first name was John, and the teacher walks by, and he says, "Hey, you guys quit horse playing," and I was like, I'm like, "Get off my back!" I didn't want him on my back in the first place. So anyway. Teacher walks off, and here comes John jumping on my back again. And he tells us, "You guys don't quit horse playing." He said, "I'm going to paddle you both." Hey, did it again. And I got paddled for his horseplay.
Wow.
Isn't that sad?
That is sad.
He was never one of my friends.
Man. So paddled once and never happened again.
Yeah. I remember telling my mom, too, and they were actually mad that I got paddled.
Because it wasn't your fault.
Well,
right?
Yeah. My mom was suspecting that it was my fault, but she didn't care too much for somebody else paddling my butt.
Gotcha.
But, it didn't hurt. It was more demoralizing.
The pride. Yeah.
Type thing. But yeah.
Wow. Did the paddle have holes in it, like with the wind? It gets
No, but
extra wind.
It's kind of funny. I think it was the theme of the time because my grandfather had a paddle with holes in it.
Yeah.
But it was called the Board of Education.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was a theme back then.
Okay.
Was it capital punishment?
Yeah. That's what it felt like to you at the time. Dude, I remember
corporal punishment.
I remember this isn't really a punishment. It was just one of these lessons learned that you've never forgotten. This is going back to elementary school again. It was an honor, right? And it still is, to 2 people every day. You got picked to go raise the American flag and then lower the American flag. Raise at the beginning of the school day, lower at the end.
I remember my friends doing that.
Yeah, so it was fun. So they sent me with this guy, and he was a real piece of work. Always getting into trouble. It's kind of like your story here. I'm not piggybacking, stealing your thunder here. But we get out there, this is at the end of the day, you have to pull it down, then you have to fold. There's a proper way to fold. They taught us all that. Right? Yeah, you fold all that and you tuck it in, and then we go present it back to where it went for the night. So we're out there, and the flag's down, and you're standing, you're holding it, right, long ways, and you're folding it over. So we're like maybe 4 feet apart from each other. And this guy, just being stupid, starts spitting at me, trying to spit on me. Oh. Right? I mean, again, elementary school stuff, just dumb stuff we did. But then he's getting close, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I didn't want to get spit on." Right. I said, "Hey, you're getting too close to the flag." I said, "If your spit lands on the flag, that's crossing a line here." And he kept doing it. I said, "Quit doing it." And he kept spitting. So finally, the teacher saw it, looked through the window and saw it happen. And there's big glass windows you could see. He goes, "Hey, what's going on out here?" And I said, "He's spitting. I'm scared it's going to end on the flag." He told the other kid, he goes, "I don't care what you do not spit on this flag."
Right.
And I said something like, "Yeah, good thing you came out here and saved him," like I was going to do something. And the guy was like, "I don't care if you guys fight." And this is the teacher telling us. He goes, "I don't care if you got different times back in the 70s." Right? He goes, "I don't care if you guys fight." He goes, "I don't want to see any spit on that flag." He goes, "If you guys fight, I don't want to see that flag touch the ground." So we started folding and getting close to each other.
All right.
Then so we're both holding the flag. Then like one hand's on the flag, the other's like trying to throw a punch or a kick, and we're both holding this flag with the utmost reverence, trying to kick and hit each other. It was the lamest fight I think ever to go down in elementary school history.
I thought you were going to tell me you wrapped yourself in the flags.
No, also he couldn't touch me. That's smart. No, didn't do that. But I'm here to say the flag never touched the ground and it never got spit on. So just in the story.
And you don't remember his name.
I don't.
See, that's the same thing. It's like I just remember John being the kid.
Yeah. I remember he was a punk.
You wipe it. He's probably listening to the show.
Yeah. If he is calling, we'll have him as a guest next week and hash things out. Bury the hatchet.
He's going to spit on you. Do not spit on your friends or anybody.
Man. So what was your favorite sport you played? And did you play sports in school?
Oh, you kind of talked about that.
I thought you played baseball, right?
Yeah, I played baseball.
In high school.
I liked all of them, but I played baseball.
Okay.
I played basketball too, but I was better at baseball.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you remember some of your coaches? Did they have impacts on you?
Weedy Russ was my coach.
His name was Weedy?
Yeah, Weedy. Yeah.
Weedy Russ.
As a matter of fact, I work with Lady Nancy Jenkins that I played with her husband, and both of us played for Weedy Russ.
Oh, nice.
I think the team's name was the Twins because you got actually drafted. We went from church league to little league to senior little league.
So this isn't high school.
No, it was high school.
This
Well,
high
this
school
was
team.
during those years, but you played for your high school team too. I didn't play baseball for Hedgesville.
Oh,
I
okay.
played, in these other leagues.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, the other teams, these guys at my school weren't in the same league as me, literally.
Oh, so did you play any school sports? Were you ever on the teams in school?
Yeah, basketball.
Okay, you were on. Okay.
Yeah, basketball.
What was y'all's mascot for Hedgesville?
The Eagles, Hedgesville Eagles.
Eagles. Okay, so same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's never changed.
Yeah, you guys were you guys are the what's it? Colonels.
Colonels.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that guy runs around with a musket.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's always trying to shoot the eagle.
Yeah, exactly. Jingswood Colonels, baby.
I remember Wendell Dick. Some locals will know he's a legend here locally. Passed away recently,
man.
A couple years ago. But he pulled me aside one day and he goes, "The only things that we had in common were the school colors, blue and gold."
Oh, gee.
We'd kick your butt every time we played you, which was true.
Yeah, and Wendell Dick was, I knew he held a bunch of different roles in our community, especially in the education system. I knew him when he was principal of, our high school was broken up into two different ones. He was principal of 9th and 10th grade. That's when I really got to know him well. And what I took away from him and I've used to this day and has helped lend to some success in my life is to treat everyone as peers. I don't care where they are on the social status, where they are age-wise. It doesn't matter. He would go until the respect wasn't reciprocal. I mean, I remember going in as a 15, 16-year-old kid, freshman and sophomore year, and him coming in and truly, genuinely, and sincerely treating me as a peer, as an equal, sitting down and just having those real discussions, not talking down to you, but just honestly treating you, asking for your feedback. And again, it was just so genuine. I was like, my gosh, I remember how I felt being treated like that. And I've tried to pass that on to other people in my life, but it was all thanks to Mr. Dick. Yeah,
he was a big supporter, or I don't know if that's the right word, but somebody who believed in character.
Yeah. And he lived it.
Yes. It's just like, who do you want people to remember you by? Your word, your name, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself, type thing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Certainly a wise guy. But I never
Not
went
in the
to
Three Stooges sense, but truly a wise man. Yep.
Yeah, he could have probably directed those.
Yeah, and made it funnier. That's just how good everything he touched was. Yeah, I told you the story, didn't know. The first time I ever met him was the first day of school, freshman year. And here he comes walking in. You have to know the guy. He's just a character to look at. If you've never met the guy, he was wearing the loudest plaid jacket, right?
70s? Wait a minute.
This was the 80s, but 80s, I'm sure it was a throwback to the 70s.
Like a leisure suit?
No, it just the jacket I don't think matched anything else. Just a loud plaid jacket, a tie that didn't even match the jacket. And he walked in there, and we're all sitting in the gym during our PE class, and in the middle of the basketball court. And he comes walking in, and he's like, "Throw me a ball." And they threw him the ball, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this joker going to do? He doesn't even know what a basketball is. Just judging it by his looks." And he sits there at the 3-point line. He never takes his jacket off, never warms up, never takes a practice shot. Drains a three. Right. He goes, "Shoot it back to me." Took it in. He walked around 5 different points to the 3-point line, drained 5s, nothing but net, 5 3-pointers, nothing but net, and said, "You class have a good first day," and walked out. And right then we were like, this guy is a stud. Right. I mean, he didn't have to say anything. He just, by actions.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
and that's because, I don't know if you know this, but he was an 8-letter senior. He lettered in 8 different sports. Now, I don't remember what all the sports are.
His picture's still hanging up at Buffalo Wild Wings when you walk in.
Yes, he was. It was a different era, and he actually was really good at a lot of different sports. Yeah, and I remember being at the school and seeing his picture on the basketball team, kneeling down with the championship trophy. Yeah. So he was. It's kind of funny as how you don't it's like judge a book by its cover. Exactly. It's like, oh, this guy's. Yeah, he was like. He grew up in the Jerry West era.
Yeah.
So
there's some similarities watching him play.
Yeah.
He was good, but yeah, we were fortunate to have crossed paths with him.
Yeah. So how smart I wouldn't have thought about that. Even if I was really good at it, I wouldn't go into a classroom and go, let me show you what, kind of hidden talent.
Right.
To get your attention.
Right. And he just did it and walked off. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That spoke volumes.
Yeah. Of course, the rest of the team's like, I could take him.
Right.
They can't even reach up to his armpit.
Exactly.
So what were some of the things do you remember using? We use chalkboards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
we
you go back to
chalkboards.
school. I was going to touch on this earlier, but nowadays, don't they use something called a smartboard? Yeah.
Yeah, you can they can write on, it's like a whiteboard. They can write on there with the light dry erase markers, but then they can hit a button and it screenshot captures everything and saves it and disappears. They can write again. I mean, it is cool stuff. I'm not going to be one of these guys that say, well, back in our day it was better because of it is cool stuff. Technology has changed in a good way.
That's really good because we remember the overhead projector.
Oh yeah. Always put the stuff in it upside down wrong first and then, yeah.
Or backwards. Grease pencils.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And the teacher writing on it, and all of a sudden the paper would come sliding off.
Yeah, I remember all those. Wow.
And the coolest kids were the ones who I always thought they were cool. What got the AV cart?
Oh,
remember the
AV
AV
were
cart?
cool?
Yeah, because they were bringing in the movie. We actually movie projectors.
But you got excited when you saw that being wheeled into the classroom.
Yeah, but I thought the kids were cool too because they got picked to go do something.
That's true. Anytime you get to walk out of the class at that point, you get to walk around and. I remember I was now I'm jumping into a high school again. Your senior year, if you're smart enough to take as much stuff as you can, your senior year you can get pretty lax and take a couple of different easy classes. I had like drama and home ec and nothing easy about that, but it was But I also had a guidance aid. That was a class. So they would say, go around and this person's needed in guidance. You'd go to the class and knock. Hey, Rich Weller's needed in guidance. Come up to me. So I would just take the pack of passes empty and you just hold them. I'd go out and say, find my buddies and say, hey, Mark Sasser's needed in guidance. And Sasser and I would just walk the halls for, 10 minutes
what
and just shoot the breeze.
We're hall monitors.
Yeah. I would just hold up that blank thing and say, hey, here's a hall pass. And people just believed you. They knew you were a guidance person. It was great.
No.
It was great.
We didn't get away with that. I don't think anybody thought about it. Trying to do that. Yeah,
man, it's different these days. I remember talking about what you get away with. I think it's different today. Here we go. The differences between then and today. Today, when kids get suspended, this is when I got suspended. Okay, back then it was a big deal.
Yes.
I feel like it's not. We'll probably get some hate on this. I feel like it's not a big of a deal because when kids get suspended now, it's in-house suspension. You come in, but you get to do all your work. You get to make up all your work. So there's no real, in my opinion. What's the big deal, right? Now you shouldn't do anything to get suspended. I'm going to caveat that. Right. But when I got suspended back in the 80s,
you did.
It was right. It was 2 days. I got a 2-day suspension, and everything that was due those 2 days are Fs or zeros.
Wow.
So that you're talking.
Oh yes.
And you're getting ready to go to trying to get your transcripts into college at this point. So you're like, my gosh, 2 days out is going to hurt my GPA. And
right.
I wasn't a brainiac or anything. So that was even more dire that I'm getting these. So I remember. So I had 2 days kicked out of school, and I remember my English teacher. We had a big exam, counted like a quarter of our grade or something. So and I was going to miss it. So this is going to really tank me. But I remember our regular teacher was out on maternity leave. We had a substitute. So believe it or not, I drove up to the school, had a buddy of mine sneak me in one of the back doors, and I came and sat down. I knew what time English class was. Sat down in my English class, took my English exam, handed it in. Got out of the school. No one was any the wiser, and I was able to save that.
I see,
it's like Mission Impossible
Cotter,
getting back. Yeah,
like a Horseshack sliding into the into the classroom.
Here's a note from my mother. That was Epstein.
It looks like Epstein. It looks like your handwriting.
Speaking of that, the other stuff that I don't think kids do today. This is how I actually met Angie, my wife, today.
Yeah.
The big thing was to skip school sometimes, or at least go to McDonald's or something. Skip first period. Right. So we would do that. Then you'd come in and you'd have someone forge a note and hand it in to the front. So I got in and I forgot. I don't know why I forgot. I was like, I got to school and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have a forged note to give anybody. And I happened to see, we didn't really know each other, just kind of talked once or twice. And I see her coming down the hallway, and I'm like, hey, real quick. I said, can you write me a note? And she's like,
oh my
well,
gosh.
Of course not. I'm like, please, this is like my third one. If I get this one, I'm going to get suspended. You do me a real solid here.
You're a winner.
Yeah. I'm a real catch here. So I had to beg and plead, and she finally reluctantly wrote the note, and it got me off the hook. Then I'm like, well, this girl is pretty attractive. I'm going to ask her out. I had no end. So I found this day, and I'm like, hey, remember that note that you forged for me? She's like, yeah. And I said, you accidentally wrote your name and not my mom's. And she's like, what? I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I said, well, would you like to go out sometime? She said,
That's
no.
funny. She did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say you're going to flip it and go, hey, I wrote one for you.
Oh, that would have been better.
But it was from your mom.
My mom thinks you should go out with me. So.
That would be funnier.
Yeah. So I don't even know. I don't know if kids get in trouble.
She doesn't even know you.
Yeah. I've told her all about you.
Yeah. That actually.
Yeah, I'm really tight with my mom. Is that a selling point?
I love your mom. Mom, we love you. I don't know if Jay does. That was funny.
Oh man. But no, hey,
good thing you didn't have me as a classmate.
I know.
Because I would have said that. I was like, no, write it out.
I was like, really? Let's try that. I ought to listen to you.
She was what a loser.
Hey, I know we're winding. I want to share one more quick story as far as I want to go back to the impact the teachers have had on us and make us think about things. I want to go back. We may have told this story sometime in the past year, so I'm going to give you the real condensed Reader's Digest version. But when at the same time I got suspended in high school, it was in the spring, so I was also running track. And the track coach came and said, hey, we heard you got suspended. And I said, oh, we heard you got in trouble. Right. I said, yeah, it's all good. I'm already serving my suspension, so everything's fine. They're like, no, everything's not fine. They go, you serve your suspension for the school, but you're also representing the track team. That's right, yeah. So meet us Saturday morning at 6 a.m. here at the track. And, weekends were your only times off, or your only time to sleep. So I was like, okay, if you say so. I said, what are we going to do? And he looked right at me and said, we're going to run you until you throw up. Right. Then we're going to run you some more. Different times. They could do that back then. I'm like, okay. So I'll fast forward to the moral of the story here. I'll show up there, and it's the coach and the assistant head coach, and they, true to form, they run me until I throw up. They give me about 2 or 3 minutes to yak it all out. They said, hit it again, and they run me till I threw up a second time. Okay. So they're all sitting there, and they're like, do you understand why you're here? And I said, yeah, because I got in trouble, and this is my punishment. They said, no. They said, you're graduating here in a couple months, and you're making some really bad decisions. They said, you think it's bad here in school. They go, when you get in the real world, they go, you're not going to get away with, a day's vacation, or somebody running you to, these are going to have real consequences. We want you to understand that. I said, okay, I understand. Thanks for that. I said, I understand, what you're trying to tell me. You made me give up my Saturday morning. And they said, that's just it. You're still not getting it. It's all about you. They said, all you keep saying is you gave up your Saturday morning. Think about this. You gave up your Saturday morning because you had to. Myself and the assistant head coach here, we gave up our Saturday mornings because we wanted to. Right. We're here because we're invested in you, and we hope you understand that. And I'm now getting goosebumps just telling the story. I have never, ever forgotten that. I said, looking back, I am so self-centered. Everything was me. And these guys were saying, we're investing in you because you're going down a bad path here. Yeah. And we want to do everything we can to set you in the right way. That goes beyond the grades in schools and everything you learn. Those are the lessons that we take away, again, just from being in school and being involved.
It's pretty powerful.
It is. And I'd say that is 95% of the teachers and the coaches and the faculty out there today. They do it for a love of the students. I don't think I think if they say for the love of the job, I personally think it's for a love of the students. They do this because they're invested in the youth and our future. And
somebody,
God
one of the
bless them
teachers,
for it.
most of them, if you talk to them, they say that it was a teacher that they had that influenced them, so they wanted to be a teacher. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember asking Wendell Dick when I had actually an impromptu 2-hour lunch, and I was an executive at our local chamber of commerce, and I said, "How do you ever know, if the words that you tell somebody make a difference?" And he says, "You really don't." He said, "But that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep doing it." Yeah. And he said, "The hope is that someday along the line, that something's happening in their lives that will trigger a memory." And they will remember, they may not remember who said it, but what was said and make a difference.
Yeah.
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 So that ends today's lesson.
Yeah.
No. It's kind of cool. I have a story similar to that, but I'm not going to share it because it would be like beating a dead horse. It was actually my grandfather that did something similar to me when I played baseball and I didn't get to play. So maybe we'll share that at another podcast.
Yeah, save that one. We definitely want to hear that.
Yeah.
But before we wrap things up, I want to end on a fun note. What about we've missed a big part of growing up in high school and middle school mostly.
Yeah.
Did your schools have school dances?
Oh,
did you go to them?
Yeah. I went to.
How fun were they?
I went to 2. I went to my 9th grade dance because we were getting out of. It was junior high at that time,
right?
And then I went to my prom. The other dances I didn't get to go to.
Okay,
and mostly because I was busy doing other things.
Right.
It wasn't because I didn't want to go. It was.
You just tell us you couldn't score a date, Rich. Come on, you don't have to sugarcoat this.
Yeah. No, I remember my senior year, though, I did have a problem getting a date. I asked like 5 different people. And it was like, I ended up at the last minute getting a date. But I was like, so I wasn't seeing anybody at that point either.
Gotcha.
Like,
that makes it harder. Well, what about so you weren't at any of the ones like in middle school where you didn't even go with a date? You would show up. It was the proverbial.
Oh, yes. The 9th grade one, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Guys on one side of the wall, girls on the other.
Yeah.
Kids today, I'm showing my age now. Kids today will never know the genuine terror and fear committing yourself, crossing halfway across. There's Chicago REO Speedwagon cuts on.
Yeah.
And you make eye contact to go to ask somebody. And if they say no, you have to turn around and that walk of shame back to the other wall with the guys. They're just waiting to rib you for what just happened.
That's certainly worse than not having a date or being able to get a date.
Yes, it is worse. Oh, it's
because you're bombing in front of everybody.
Yeah, there's no net there to save you. But you kind of looking back, you kind of could pick and choose because I'd be walking over and I'd see, okay, this is a pretty girl. I'm asking her. And we make eye contact. And I can see her divert her eye contact somewhere else from me. So I'm like, okay,
right.
She's not interested. Okay,
Don't come talk to me.
She's pretending to bend over and tie her shoes. She's out. Fun to get to the,
Would they wear saddle shoes back then?
No, you're dating me now. But those looking back, those were such fun memories. Now it was sheer terror at the time, but again, just like calling somebody. Now it's all texting on phones.
Yes.
You had to call
them
landline
and get their parents on the
so
phone.
So scared that Dad was going to answer.
Yeah.
May I ask what this pertains to? Question about homework, or just hang up back then, right?
And that was before caller ID, so they didn't know where the call came from.
So you could call back like 20 times in a row until the dad doesn't answer, and then
yeah, it was like, I'm going to get this kid.
Yeah. But school dances were so much fun, and you talk about the differences now. Back in our day, like a prom, take for example, it was you always go with a date. You would find a date and take. Now the big thing is just to go like in groups of friends.
Yes, they do. It's cool. They've taken the pressure off.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. There needs to be some. You know what I do like this generation does that we missed out on. I wish we'd have had because I feel like I would have really been good at this.
What is it?
Promposals.
I don't even know what that is.
Big elaborate gestures of asking someone to prom.
Really?
Yeah. You never heard of a promposal?
No. My promposal was just asking.
Right. Mine too.
Yeah.
Very lame. Today, I mean, it's almost like gender reveal level stuff. Just it's all this like.
How embarrassing would that be when the person didn't want to go with you?
Right. I know.
It's like, did you see what Billy did?
YouTube it. Look up promposals going wrong or promposal disaster. You'll see a bunch of them, and they are painful to watch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you'll spend like 30 minutes watching.
No.
Yeah, dances were
I
fun.
remember actually just to share and talk about the problem. One of the girls that I did ask out, her name was Cheryl. I don't remember her last name. Anyway, so I asked her, and she said, "Yes, I'd go with you, but you have to come by my house and meet my dad."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Really?" But I was a
somewhat
stand-up
normal
guy.
back then, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a stand-up guy. I was like, "Man, I'm not afraid of her dad." But I got to pass the mustard, more or less. And so I go and I meet and I talk with him a few minutes, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, okay, he's going to think about it and I'll let you know. So I thought that was pretty good, in the sense of, she wasn't making her own decision. He wanted to, gauge who she was going to go to a prom or go out with type
Right.
thing. And then she come back. I think I saw her in school like a couple of days later, and I said, "What'd your dad say?" Anything? She goes, "He hasn't said anything." And I said, well, are you going to ask him? She says, no, he usually tells me when he wants to tell me. So it was like about a week before the prom, right? And I was like, either I'm not going, or whatever. And she comes back and I said, did you talk to your dad? And I remember calling her on the phone and asking. And she said, no. She said, my dad said I can't go to the prom.
Ooh.
And I kept thinking, well, what did she do?
Oh.
Now, to make that even worse was I go to the prom. She's there with another guy.
Oh, so she could go just so we know what the issue was then. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I remember getting all dressed up, going and, meeting her dad. It wasn't blue jeans and stuff. I had, dress pants on, slacks.
Get your tree pants on that we talked about that one podcast.
I had outgrown those.
But that was a rite of passage back then, though.
Yeah.
You had to check in with the dad, and they liked you or they didn't. Yeah, they liked you or they didn't.
Right.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, I bet her dad told her that I was okay.
Yeah. I remember when
but she liked this other guy better. I'm thinking, how many people showed up at her house?
Right. It's like the Bachelorette or something. Yeah. You didn't get a rose.
I didn't bring her one. That was the thing.
But it was one of those things where it's a rite of passage.
Tails.
It's a rite of passage. We had to do that stuff, and we had to go subject ourselves to be evaluated by the dads. I remember when my daughter Kayla went to senior prom. Yeah. The dude that showed up to pick her up, I was the biggest jerk in the world because I could.
Yeah.
And it's my daughter going out the show. And I remember, like, as soon as he left, I was like, oh, I felt like a heel. And Angie's like, I hope you feel good about yourself. And I'm like, that was hard to be that much of a jerk to this kid. And the kid's doing everything the right way. He's doing everything nice and being polite. And I was like, oh, this is not my nature.
And antagonizing the kid.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
That's exactly what it was. Play the scene from Bad Boys when the guy shows up with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
What do you mean? When I say 11, that means 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you better have it. I don't know, 10:01.
Yeah.
10:02.
But back then we respected those wishes too. It was just different times.
Yeah, I remember being scared because of the respect level.
Yeah, I was more scared. I had. This sounds horrible. I'm the worst son in the world, but I had the utmost respect.
Well, that's why you got the worst toys.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get the six-inch pen, but I would make sure if a dad said to have my daughter home by this point, I made sure it would, like you said, in all seriousness, it was at least 10 minutes before. Right. I would just make my curfew was say midnight. Right. Rolling him at 2 a.m.
No, I remember too, is you would stop and, we're way off of school, but these are certain school days, but, if your car broke down or something of that nature, you would have to find a landline phone.
Yes.
And call the parents and say, hey, we're going to be late. And you think, and it was true. The car had broken down or something like that. But you're always wondering if the parents are like, yeah, right.
Right. I know.
Right. But then I wasn't smart enough. Good thing you had that mentality because the communities were so small. They knew people.
I know.
And they're like, yeah, I imagine people calling up their friends and going, hey, have you seen this car? Is it broken down?
Yeah, I know. It was a lot smaller world back then.
Yeah, now the kids can get away with a lot more, But anyway.
Well, our big thing, too, was, you talk about car broke down. I would always, they can't say I'm doing air quotes here now, but field parties were a big thing after school.
Oh, yes.
Time to the school thing. After on weekends, big field parties. Right. I'd always tell my parents I got boxed in. Hey, I wanted to get home, but, all these cars around, I couldn't get out. I had to wait till these heathens finished their partying to move their cars so I could get home.
No, actually, to be honest with you, when I reached high school days and so forth, that was actually, my parents were kind of cool. And I told them we used to go over on the backside of the mountain from Hedgesville, a place called Blue Hole. I think there's probably 1 million blue holes. And it was a little creek, and you could swim in it, and it was a deep, deep hole. And Tuscarora, I think it was what it was called.
Okay.
Anyway, and we'd go over there and we'd have parties, and I'd say, hey, I'm going over there having a party. It was literally like 2.5 miles from my house. And I tell them and they say, okay, just make sure you're home at a certain time. And it's because they were always cool about that. I always made sure that I was home close to the time that they had said, because one thing is I had things that I had to do on the farm or around it. And I didn't want to, it's like feel like a jerk,
Yeah.
or just physically feel bad.
I know. Well, the thing is, it's like everything else, one person, crosses that line too far and ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah.
And, it's just,
Yeah.
back in the day, I felt like things were a little more lenient with what we could do and get away with.
Well, and because if you handled it with some, what's the right word?
Class,
Dignity. Maturity.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see people in general, and I'm not just picking on kids, but it's just like they have no ownership.
Exactly.
In anything. It's always they're a victim of somebody else.
Yeah.
Or a victim of their own.
Yeah.
And we talked about that at the cartoons, the last one.
That's right. Now, I remember...
Skeletor was a victim of his own.
I remember senior year, obviously you're 18 years old and the drinking age is 21, right? But we would tailgate there at Jim Barnett Park before going in to watch one of our high school baseball games. You can't do that now. You shouldn't have done it back then, but we would tailgate, have a few beers there. And I remember one night we were walking in.
You were 6.
What's that?
You were 6.
No, high school. So I was paying her money to get in, and one of the teachers over there at the gate taking the money, and she's like, "Whoa." Well, I'm like, "Everything okay?" And she's like, "Don't breathe on anybody important tonight, and just let us go." And that was it. That was it. So I was like, we weren't falling down, we weren't being stupid,
No.
and she was just saying, "Look, just again, like you were saying, handle this with some class." And
I just remember too. This is another story because we could keep going and going and going. But I was a junior policeman. My dad was the ABC director in West Virginia, so had a lot of.
So you could score all the booze.
Not until later. Anyway, so he wanted me to get engaged with them. So they had junior police officers, and basically you weren't a police officer,
right?
But they'd have like Martinsburg High School games, and my job as I was like 14 or 15, I'd walk the perimeter. Didn't even get to watch the game.
Oh.
I'd be on the outside of the fence, over by another street, because people would sneak into the games and cross the fence.
Oh, wow. So you'd bust them?
Yeah. But, a lot of times it was, I was like, you just
wave
them on in.
That could make you very unpopular if
I remember waving them on. Come on, Pop. Yeah. Just don't tell them I let you in. Just like,
But you remember this favor that I did for you. What they want to collect.
As I showed them my paper badge.
Oh, did you have a badge? Oh.
They gave you these little badges. It was probably out of a box of cereal.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I don't remember if it was plastic or whatever it was, but it made you feel like you were, doing something.
Yeah.
But I was always like, go on in.
Yeah.
And they always like, don't rat me out.
Well, that last thing,
you can't afford $1 to get in the game.
I know. It's just a thrill. At that age, it's a thrill of sneaking in. It's like, getting in the trunk of a car going to the drive-through or drive-in movie theater. So,
you go through the drive-through.
Yeah, it's hard to order that way. Well, I know we need to wind things up, but real quick, you're talking about that last story you just shared. I'm starting to wonder if this is just a fever dream or these things were real. Hall monitors. I see them on TV and movies all the time. I don't remember ever experiencing any hall monitors.
Yeah, we did. It was
really?
Sometimes it was other students.
Okay.
And they used to be like the valedictorian or somebody that had some
straight arrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they'd sit in a desk. I remember sometimes they'd sit in a desk.
Did they have power?
Oh, they just tell on you.
Okay, I guess that's power.
Yeah, it wasn't like they gave you a demerit or something like that. So
you knew they were a narc. You couldn't do anything around them. Yeah. You had to be on watch your P's
But they were
and Q's.
good kids too, so you didn't. It wasn't like you disrespected them. Like,
okay,
there's Linda.
Okay,
Man,
see, I swear I can't remember any hall monitors back in my day.
Teachers, of course, teachers would take turns.
Okay,
and some teachers were cool. That's why you had to get a hall pass.
Okay.
Like you had the guidance.
Right.
Thing.
I had the fake hall pass.
Yeah, we used to get the big key. I don't know what it was.
Like you had gas station restroom or something? Yeah. Oh, man.
No, you had a hall pass. And it's so funny. It was like, you think about it. I don't remember what it was, what the hall pass was, but nowadays kids are so much smarter than we are. They probably make one and keep it in their pocket.
Yeah.
But the teacher would have to let you go, out of the class.
I gotcha. Well, look, I know we're at. I want to come back and revisit this, not anytime soon, but somewhere in the next year, because field trips,
so much
pep rallies. There's so much stuff we haven't even
sports.
touched on yet.
Yeah.
We should really start having outlines for these to cover everything.
I thought we did.
but no, I know it's probably about that time to start wrapping up. So,
hey, by the way, I had some guys from Fiverr write us a song.
Really?
I sent them to you. Did you listen to them?
No, they didn't come through. You said,
"Oh yeah."
You sent me a thing saying, "Hey, I had some guys write a song, but then you never sent the song."
I'm gonna put them up on social media on my page.
Can you add it to the end of this podcast?
No. Yeah, I can, but they're I think each one's like 3 minutes long.
Okay.
So anybody wants to stick around, sure, I'll put them on the end of the podcast.
Or where
one's
else
called
can they find
Memories, and the other one is called Tangents.
Nice.
And they're called they're Western. What's the right music?
Western country music.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Just had a brain freeze right there. They're country music, and one's a little play off of bluegrass.
Nice.
And the guys did a fantastic job. I wrote the lyrics.
Okay. You could have given it to our guest from last month, Josh Phelps. He plays bluegrass.
I think I did send it to him, and he just laughed.
He turned it down?
He said, "Sorry. How much are you going to pay me to play this?" No, I'll put it up. I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, send them to me. I haven't heard them yet.
Yeah, so it's Memories, and then the second is 2 songs, and the others is Tangents.
Okay.
Talking about rabbit holes, because it's just like...
Nice. It's something we know a little bit about.
Yeah. So you want to do some trivia?
Do I? Yes.
Oh, this is going to be right in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Every one of these, I think anybody listening is going to love this trivia.
Okay.
Low budget trivia. Nobody wins anything.
Okay.
All right. 1980s. This is Radio Shack trivia questions.
Ooh, okay.
You were a mall.
You
were a mall guy.
I was. If it didn't have a Radio Shack, it wasn't really a good mall.
Yeah. What robotic? This is question number 1, and I do have multiple choice questions. What robotic toy sold by Radio Shack in the 80s could pick up small objects with its claw using toy joysticks? Was it A, Robbie Sr.? I'm sorry, Roby Sr., Robbie Sr. B, Armatron, C, Galactic Man, or D, Big Track?
Oh.
I do. I remember.
I remember, yeah.
I remember the
Big Track was kind of, it drove around. You could program where to go. The claw, I want to say it's either Roby Senior, it's A or B. I'm going to go with B, Armatron.
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
Armatron. It was, matter of fact, I remember watches. You remember the Armatron watches?
Yeah, I do.
I do. LCD.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time.
Okay, question number 2. Which portable music device launched by Radio Shack was a budget rival to the Sony Walkman? A, the Realistic Stereo Mate. B, Optimus Boombox. C, the Tandy Tuner. Or D, Archer Audiopod.
Well, since you laughed through C, I figured that was a made-up one.
No, it was just like...
I want to say A.
It was.
Yes.
NRA, Realistic Stereo Mate. Oh, you know what I don't have? I don't have an all or nothing.
Just make the last one all or nothing, whatever it is.
So, number 3.
Okay.
What quirky kitchen gadget catalog oinked at you when you opened the fridge?
Oh.
Was it Snack Sentinel, Refrigerator Pig, Porky Protector, or Fridge Alarm Sal? And trust me, I did not make these up.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think it's just...
I do remember this
one is
thing.
the one. Is it B, the refrigerator
pig? It is
pig?
B, the refrigerator pig. What
okay.
do you got good grades in school? All right, number 4. What Radio Shack kit let hobbyists build over 100 electronic projects, including a working AM radio? We talk about AM radio in the 80s. Of course, this is all 80s. I don't know why the question always has 80s in it. A, Science Fair 160 and 1, 160 and 1. B, Tandy Circuit Lab. C, the Archer Experimenter. Or D, Realistic Signal Tracer. That would have been cool.
This is hard. I had one called Capsella. It was a similar one, but
I don't remember that.
I think it was the poor man's version of this.
I always wanted one of these, and I never had one.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been able smart enough to put these together, so it's probably good I didn't even have one. But I'm gonna guess A.
A, Science Fair 160 and 1. That was always so cool.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry. Left that out.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating what you said. Let me make sure.
Put the crowd cheering noise in when we edit this.
I mean, do I have anything? Yeah, that's not it.
heard nothing.
Well, that's all for the show. That hit the wrong button, folks. Okay, this is number 5. We'll actually make this an all or nothing.
This is okay.
You've actually aced all of them.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to bet everything now at this point.
What high-tech toy from Radio Shack in 1985 talked using cassette tapes and moved its mouth? I don't even have to give you the answer for that one, or the multiple questions. It was Chatbot Charlie, B, Teddy Ruxpin, C, Speakatron, or D, Voice Command Bear.
I'd have probably bought it if it was called Voice Command Bear, but it's Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, Teddy. Didn't they recently? Well, I would say recently, but was it 10, 15 years ago? Did a whole movie?
Did they?
Off of that with that
it wasn't
talking
like a
bear?
horror movie where he was like the Banana Splits thing. Okay.
But the answer is Teddy Ruxpin.
I remember Teddy Ruxpin.
So,
do you remember one called 2XL? He took 8-track tapes. He was a robot, and the robot.
But that would have been more my tape.
Yeah. Oh, I still have my 2XL. It was so
you?
fun. Took 8-track tapes, and it was everyone was like one was American history, another one was science. They were all just different things to help you learn, and had 4 buttons. It was just like you're doing here, trivia. Yeah. You just picked which one, and he would say,
"No,
yeah, you got it right,"
cool.
or "No, you're a moron."
That was way ahead.
It was ahead of its time. Yeah.
Of course, I do remember the 70s were big 8-track. I'm just trying to play it back in my head. People can't see me, going into dreamland like Ralphie from Christmas Story. Yeah. Yep. So, so I think that we should end the show there.
I like that. We ended on the 2XL robot.
2XL robot.
So
why was it called 2XL?
I don't know. But it's funny because I try to find tapes for it now. Go to eBay, type in 2XL, and it's nothing but like extra large clothes pops up. So it's hard to find.
I got some Bachman Turner Overdrive 8 tracks.
It would work. He also played. Yeah, it would work. It's still. It's
okay.
It's just
you
8-track
can do
player
the trivia.
Too. Yeah, it just doesn't do trivia.
Why is 1 the loneliest number?
Yeah.
TXL.
No, this was a fun trip down memory lane. I hope people reminisce a little bit about their hopefully fun, good school experiences, everything from elementary school through high school. And if anything, think about a good teacher. Think about a teacher that maybe you haven't thought of in a while that had an influence on your life. And my gosh, in the days of social media and connectedness now, hey, we encourage you to reach out and let them know if you can find them on social media, let them know what an influence they were in your lives and how much you appreciated that.
Yes. All right, folks. So that's how we're going to end this show. We'll see you next month. Thanks for listening.
Gravel road and a setting sun. Mike's on singing about what we've done. Boots kick dust, a story flows. Life's simple truth in every note. Memories rolling like a train through the air, calling out our name. Slice of life, we're riding high. Country hearts that never die. Firelight glow and a lonesome tune, talking about days under the moon. Fiddles hum, the past rewinds, our podcast where the soul resides. Memories rolling like a train through the air, calling out our name. Slice of life, we're riding high. Country hearts that never ever die. Raise a glass to tales we share. Slice of life, we're always there. Memories, they'll never fade. Riding with us every day.
Mike's hot, banjo setting the pace. Talking life with a grin on my face. Down a rabbit hole we tumble and spin. Stories kick up where the fun begins. Tangents racing across the ridge. Fiddle cries over yonder bridge. Slice of life we're picking bold. Running wild down that rabbit hole. Moonlight hums, mandolin takes flight. Rambling yarns till the morning light. From the holler to the hill we roam. Tangents call this heart back home. Tangents racing across the ridge. Fiddle cries over yonder bridge. Slice of life we're picking bold. Running wild down that rabbit hole. Here's to the trails we twist and mend. Slice of life, our bluegrass blend. Tangents sing like a mountain soul. Rolling deep down that rabbit hole. Across the ridge, fiddle cries over yonder bridge. Slice of life we're picking bold. Running wild down that rabbit hole. Here's to the trail